Hello everybody, it is the penultimate day of Dephemerember 2025. It is prompt number 30 and today we are looking at altered tag and torn wallpaper. Alright, let's see what we can do. I had a rummage through all the things I'd made during this challenge today, and I do have these tags which I'd made. These were part of the shattered glass prompt, and this one I made originally when I was making the journal that I am going to be using to put some of the ephemera in. And I thought, well, yeah, we can alter those up in some way. And then I thought, hang on a minute. And I have pulled out my collection of tags. I'm sure I'm not the only one who keeps things like this. These are tags that come on clothing or other things that you buy. And some of them are really quite lovely. Look at this. I don't know what this has come on. Anyway, I thought, yeah, that fits the prompt of altered better. So I'm going to do something with some of these tags today. And some of these are really cool. Look, they have this like an opening tag. And I'd like to use that. And then I've got this one, which is lovely and thick and quite big. And this one. So look, I'm going to pick a few of these and I'm going to do something with them. I'm going to alter them in some way so that they are cohesive with my journal. Now, torn wallpaper. Do you know what? I have been right through my craft room this morning, which is no mean feat. I was sure that I had some wallpaper. If I do, it's being very elusive. What I have found is this, and I want to show you this. We have, on the edge of our property, we have a very, very old house, or the remains of a very old house, and this is genuine vintage wallpaper that has come from that house. As you can see, look, it's still got some of the dirt, but it's even got some wallpaper on the back. And if you look carefully there, you can see the very old faded pattern that was on it. Now, this is actually too delicate for me to use. I have used some of this before and I created some specimen cards with it, and I'll try and find the video. I think it was part of Junk Journal July this year. I'll find the video and link it below. But this piece that I have left is too delicate to use. So what I did, I'll just put that to the side. I went online and Googled vintage wallpaper because my journal's got a vintage theme, and so I wanted something to go with that. And I have found a couple of lovely images that I was allowed to print. No problem to print and use. Here we go. So these are vintage wallpaper patterns. So I'm going to be using those in lieu of wallpaper today. And I'm going to be using these tags and altering them up. I'm going to pull out my box of scraps again, which is here. And these are all bits and pieces. You probably saw them the other day. They're all bits and pieces left over from this challenge. And I'm going to use these to alter these tags and create something that looks like it should be in my journal. So, without further ado, let's get going. Right, I've pulled out these 5 to work on. As I say, love this one because it's got the flip up on it. This one, if you remember the other day, I don't know if you watched the video, but I think it was a prompt about forgotten snacks, and my forgotten snack was a Terry's chocolate orange, and I used the packaging and I created these orange and lemon themed bits of ephemera to commemorate the chocolate orange. And look, I found this has come off it says a mesh basket. Do you know, I get given these by family, they keep things. But anyway, I'm not going to cover this bit. I'm going to keep this and do something with the rest of it, because I think this will tie in nicely with the orange themes here. The other three that I've picked are just nice, good, sturdy tags, different sizes, and so we'll do something with those. All right, I'm going to start off with a bit of collaging, and then I will bring in the wallpaper as a second layer, I think. All right, so as you can see, I have collaged all of these now, and I've also done the backs too. Now, a couple of these you will see I've left, well, I've actually done with coffee dyed paper, and also the inside of this one, because I was thinking that would be a really cool journaling space, because altered tags. Now, if I'm taking what was a clothes tag and altering it, it doesn't necessarily have to end up as a tag. That's my thinking anyway. So a couple of these that have got the plain backs might be more journaling space, but these I will turn into tags, and I have collaged on both sides. Now, the other thing I have done whilst they were drying, I've taken a piece of each of those wallpaper printables, and I have backed them with, this is a little bit of brown wrapping paper that was left over from Christmas, because when I printed these, I only just printed them on copy paper. So I have backed them to give them just a little bit more stability, because I have a bit of an idea about how I would like to use those. But what I'm going to do first, these two I am going to turn into more traditional tag shapes. Now you will notice I covered the original holes on them, and that was quite deliberate. I am going to remake those holes because most of them were quite small. So I'm going to grab my little corner maker and turn these into more traditional tags with the shaped top. I may do that one as well, even though it's got journaling space on the back. I'll have a think about that as I'm doing these. Okay, so there we go. We've shaped some of them and remade some holes that are big enough to put eyelets in. This one I'm not going to put a hole in. What I'm going to do now is, just with a little bit of gesso, I'm just going to knock back some of this collaging, and I'm literally just going to put a little bit of gesso on my finger just like this. Right, so that gesso has all dried, and let's think about the second part of our prompt, which is torn wallpaper. Now, my idea is to use this wallpaper and create a little bit of like a pocket or wraparound pocket. So I'm just going to cut roughly up there to give me like maximum size. And I think what I am going to do, I'm going to trim it down to about there because I don't necessarily want it all the way up the top. So now I should be able to do that by tearing it. Okay, and then I'm going to go from here up to that top bit like that. And then my idea is that this will create a bit of a tuck spot on the tag, which kind of makes it a little bit more altered than if it was just a tag. So I'm going to do something similar across the back. Now, of course, it doesn't have to be the same height or anything, so we'll do this one a little bit differently. Okay, now before I put that on, what I do want to do is to ink the edge of this, and also I want to put a little bit of decoration on the back here. Now I'm going to do the same on another one. Let's have a look. What have we got? I'm going to do the same on this one with the other wallpaper. So I'm just going to do exactly the same. I'm going to take the white border off that my printer leaves. I'm going to fold it around. And then I'm going to take that one about there. Let's see. Yeah, so that's going to be a little bit... Actually, do you know, I'm going to do a little bit more. Gosh, I'm indecisive today. Ooh. Can you tell I'm making this up as I go along? Right. Let's get a bit of a crease in there. Okay, so I'm going to come up from here. Across there. Okay. And when we stick that down, what that should do is just make a cute little tuck spot on both of those two. Now, what I've got left is all sorts of bits of torn wallpaper. So let's see how we can use these. I do have some more here, but let's see how we can use some of these torn pieces, because after all, that is our prompt for today, is torn wallpaper. Now I'm just looking at this piece, and this has quite a nice, almost like a little border on there. And I'm thinking that I might wrap that all the way round, because I want to leave the back of this one for journaling. That might look quite cool. So I'm just going to audition a few pieces like that and then think about some decoration and sticking things down. All right, I'm going to start putting some of these together. And then and as you can see, I've been concentrating on using up some of the scraps and things that are left over from some of the previous projects, and also some of the bits that have come from my lovely swap partner Gajana, and that would be some of this great stuff here, as well as this little flower, which I think might just go on the front there. We'll see. All right, so I'm going to start putting it together. I'm going to be bringing in probably a few butterflies, maybe a couple of stamps and tickets as we go along, but we've got a basis here. Let's make a start and see how we go. All right, everybody, thank you for sticking with me through that. So here we have altered tags with torn wallpaper. And so we started off, if you remember, with some clothing tags and some tags off items that have been purchased. And so we have altered those up. Some of them are now junk journaling tags, but they have some little quirky things with them. So this one has a pocket, front and back, as does this one. so we can tuck little things into it. This one opens up, we've got some journaling space, and then we flip it over. Got a torn wallpaper again here, we open it out, we've got journaling space and another little journaling card made from the wallpaper in there. This one of course goes with our other orange items that we made the other day, and this one is another. Both of these last two have journaling space on the back, and as you probably gathered from watching some of that, I've been really focusing on using up some of the bits and pieces left over on my desk today, because tomorrow is our last Dephemerember day. Oh my goodness. So tomorrow we're going to be finishing off with specimen cards and fallen leaves. I have to say, Barbara and Louise, you've left my least favourite till last. I only ever make specimen cards when it's for a prompt or a challenge, but so that's a challenge for me to get myself into the spirit of the last day tomorrow and make some awesome specimen cards and include some fallen leaves. Right, I'm off to think about that. Thank you very much for watching, folks. As always, it means the world to me. But for now, I'm going to say ka kite anō.